I am Harsh Hariyani. I am a student at New Mexico Highlands University. I am currently enrolled in the MBA program, and today I am doing a short video on servant leadership. So the article on servant leadership is from the book Classics of Organizational Behavior by Walter Natemeyer and Paul Hersey. So before I talk about servant leadership, I would like to talk about the founder and inventor of servant leadership, Mr. Robert Greenleaf. He was born in Terre Haute, Indiana, and he is the founder of servant leadership movement. He attended Rose Polytechnic in Terre Haute and Carleton College in Minnesota. He graduated in 1926 as a math major and got a job with AT&T. He spent 40 years in research, management, development, and education. Here I have mentioned some of the powerful essays that are written by him: The Servant as a Leader, The Institution as a Servant, Trustees as Servants. So he was with AT&T for 38 years and retired in 1964 to begin his second career as a writer, consultant, and as a teacher. He founded a nonprofit called the Center for Applied Ethics to provide education on leadership, management, and organizational development. Later in 1985, the organization changed the name to Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership. The organization continued to offer leadership trainings, online learnings, and holds a yearly conference. Mr. Robert Greenleaf died in 1990 and left behind the legacy of servant leadership. So let's talk about the article. Basically, it is connecting the two roles, that is of servant and a leader. The idea of servant leadership came from the novel Journey to the East, written by Hermann Hesse. The novel describes a group of men who are on a mythical journey. The main character is the servant, and his name is Leo. Leo does all the work and chores for this man. Therefore, his presence is extraordinary. Now, all of a sudden, Leo disappears and the group falls into misery and they decide to abandon their journey. Few years later, Leo was found by a couple of people and he was the head of a group. He was guardian and a noble leader. People respected him. So the author says the great leader is seen as a servant first. Now, who is the servant leader? So the servant leader is servant first. It begins with the feeling one wants to serve first. So then the author talks about what it takes to become a servant leader. They are defined by their personal values and beliefs. They are not material oriented. Like usually in a traditional leadership, what happens is it is more of a give and take. If you do this job, I will give you more money. Or if you do this project, I will promote you. So that is more of a traditional leadership. But servant leaders are defined by their values and ethics. They are dreamers, and they make dreams into reality. And as I was reading the article, it reminded me of I Have a Dream speech by Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, when he was going to give the speech at the Lincoln Memorial, he did not invite those people, but people followed his dream. They believed in him. They think about whether the priorities of the people are served. And they embrace rejection. So again, this reminded me of Mahatma Gandhi. At that time, people all across the world, big politicians, military generals, they all said to Gandhi that he will never win the war by non-violence against British. Because the history says that all the wars are won by violence. And this was the reply by Mahatma Gandhi. History will change. And he won. It begins with the initiative and by responding to all problem by listening first. The author also says, true listening builds strength in people. So the takeaway is, the characteristics of servant leader includes active listening, empathy, awareness, persuasion, foresight, conceptualization, stewardship, commitment to growth and emancipation, and community building. The primary purpose of servant leader is to motivate others and bring about the greatness in others with the organizational success. And I want to thank you all for listening.